there, my name is Thomas O'Regan, and today I wanted to talk about investing with the fundamentals. Now, I'm a property investor here in Australia, and I've built quite a large property portfolio over the last 6 to 4 years. Me and my wife currently hold 16 residential investment properties. But today, basically, I wanted to talk you through the decisions that I make when I'm looking at an investment, and those decisions are made through what are the fundamentals when it comes to investing in property. Now, big one that people somehow don't really get the concept of or don't even consider when they're making an investment decision is, what is the actual land value? What is the land value of this investment that I'm looking at potentially purchasing? Okay, so if you start looking at this, you will find that there are some investments that are absolutely bargains, and then there are some investments that are absolute garbage in terms of buying properties at their intrinsic value. Now, you might find that if you look at the area, within any area, you might find that the land value is anywhere from $500 a square meter all the way up to $100,000 a square meter. Crazy, right? Now, if you are aware of this and you're looking and you sort of hone in on an area, and you maybe, for example, you're just looking on one street and you find that maybe the street across is $500 a square meter, maybe the street you're looking at is $1,000 a square meter, and maybe doesn't really matter anywhere else. Just say that, for example. Now, if you're looking at this street and you're finding that most of these houses are selling with their land component lining up somewhere with $1,000 a square meter, and you find one on that street that is selling with a land component, if you measure out what's the actual land value worth under this property, you might find one that, oh wow, this one's only selling for $500 a square meter. Okay, so that would be considered a good investment. You're buying it below the actual comparable costs of other properties. Now, if you're just simply looking at property to property and you're not measuring the land component, it might be harder to give value to these properties, right? But when you break it down to what is the land component worth per square meter, that makes it easier to measure if it's a good investment or not. Now, I want to move on to something different, which is also good to measure when you're looking at buying an investment. Now, that's building costs, okay? So again, depending on what you're buying, let's call it residential property, in the market today, building costs can be anywhere from $2,500 to $7,000. So you've obviously got to understand what the type of investment you're looking at, where that realistically falls into that cost, okay? So if it's a really old building, it might be more reasonable to assign it a value of $2,500 a square meter opposed to $7,000 a square meter of building cost. Now, once you have this measurement, it makes it much easier to subjectively look at these investments. You can say, wow, this property is quite small, but the building size is quite large. This building size is got an astronomical 500 square meters of building. Now, is this a good investment from the perspective of how much I'm paying for this property, when comparing it to what the building cost is? Okay, maybe maybe you're looking at two properties, and one is 1,000 square meters, okay, and it has a old building on it. It's got an old building on it, and the building is you can assign the value of $2,500 per square meter for the building, and the building is only 200 square meters of building. And then you've got 1,000 square meters of land and 200 square meters of building, and you've assigned the building cost to about 2,500 square meter, versus you looking at another investment and it's only 500 square meters, and the building cost is is brand new, so it's like $7,000 a square meter, but the building is 500 square meters, taking the entire land size. What's the better investment? It's just a more subjective way of looking at it. Okay, it's less fluff, more hard numbers. That's how I look at investments subjectively through the fundamentals. Hopefully, it's helped you. So when you're looking at properties, you're not just guessing and going with gut feel when it comes to assigning a price and value on the investments you're buying. See you guys next time. Bye.